So I've had successful gardens in the past, and I know it might be hard to believe me because I haven't had one since I've started this channel. And so at the start of January, if you saw my last video, I did my seed starters. I became like increasingly motivated to start my garden, right? I had been planning all fall, time to get this started. I had that new year, new me, like fresh start mentality, which I know is kind of silly because, you know, the new year is very symbolic. It doesn't really mean anything. It's kind of just like the continuation of time. It doesn't technically hold any like magical properties of sorts, you know? And so I assumed my seeds, like they have historically, would have sprouted. As I mentioned before, like, this isn't my first rodeo. Like, I've had gardens in the past, I've had seeds that have started, so this should have happened the exact same way. Similarly, as I mentioned in my very first video, I'm unemployed. And so at the start of the year, I was like, all right, so a lot of companies have new budgets. New budgets mean new jobs. New jobs mean more openings, more things I can apply to, more interviews I'm gonna get, and, you know, hopefully, oh, Pepe's right next to me, hopefully a job will come with this new year, right? Right? So I started January like chock full of hope, like super excited, very enthusiastic about everything. And you know, as a couple weeks passed in January, I started to notice that my seeds were not sprouting. Like, it was just wet dirt in my little greenhouse next to my window. It was just like a little thing of wet dirt. Very disappointing, very sad looking. And so I started to kind of not look at them. I started to become really avoidant because when I looked at them and all I saw was wet dirt and no sprouts, it was like super disappointing. Similarly, as I was planning my garden, waiting for things to happen, I'm also applying to these jobs, praying to whoever will listen, and hope that I would get at least an interview, but everything was also resulting in ghosting, rejections, just not hearing anything and just putting applications out into the void and getting nothing back. So no seeds, or no sprouts, no jobs. So like between these two things, I was really frustrated. I was really disappointed, and I was sad. Like, I know that sounds like an overreaction, but the truth is I was really sad. I was sad that this garden that I planned wasn't panning out. I was disappointed that the things that I wanted to happen weren't happening, and that's a completely normal feeling. I really struggle with disappointment because when I am disappointed, I feel so naive for having hope in the first place, right? And I feel like, well, on the other side then, not having hope is kind of a fatalist mentality, and you know, I don't know that I want that. I don't want to live in like a permanent state of pessimism. Like, that sounds like it just kind of sucks, right? So I feel like the first thing that I needed to do is just kind of accept the disappointment, feel the way I felt, kind of sit in the feelings. Like, as much as it sucks, like, it's okay to acknowledge that something didn't pan out, that something didn't happen. We have to file it under the shit happens situation because it just is what it is, and it's okay to feel sad about it. I think as humans, we actively spend our entire lives avoiding anything that makes us sad, anything that's painful, anything that might create negative feelings, but also sometimes there are things worth doing that may result in that. And so it's kind of like, you know, people always say like it's better to love and lost than never have loved before. I mean, a garden's very different, but it's kind of the same thing. So the second thing I need to realize is that I'm not alone in these situations. I'm not the first person to ever have a garden that didn't start. I'm not gonna be the last, and this is probably not gonna be the only time that I experience this. Similarly, not having a job and being unemployed right now is highly relatable. If you go on LinkedIn, you're not alone. Everyone is really struggling with this job market right now, and as much as it sucks to see, it's kind of nice being like, all right, I'm not the only one who struggles with this. So once I'm done going through the feelings, trying to understand that I'm not alone, the next thing I have to do is manage my expectations. And that sounds kind of negative maybe, but I think it's the most realistic thing that I can do. I have to remind myself that failing at something is not a reason to not do something, and that not trying is the actual failure. I have to remind myself that things happen. Seeds don't grow, and that's okay. Does it suck? 100%. So this final step of managing disappointment in my life, in my garden, is pick myself up, try something new, change it up, do better, and try again. Hello? Sniffies? So I still want to attempt a winter/spring garden. I'm not gonna give up on that. You know, if it doesn't happen, that's okay. Like, I can still plan for summertime, which I will say is like significantly easier. But, you know, during the winter storm, I was stuck inside and I was looking at my, you know, thing of dirt. I just like plastic container of dirt. That was really sad. And so I decided to do another round. So what I did is, instead of doing a bunch of different ones in one of the greenhouses, I did an entire little greenhouse of lettuce, and then I did an entire greenhouse of kale. And I'm really happy to report that they're actually sprouting, which is exciting. So, you know, I'm gonna have hope here, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, because we're managing our expectations, right? And so they're sprouted indoors, and I'm going to move them outside soon. I just have to prepare a couple of things in the meantime. Making them successful outside is gonna be, you know, step 2, which the original seed starters never made it to. And so we're already doing better than we were before. And so outside is gonna be a whole nother ballpark, so to speak, but we're gonna do something different that I've never tried before. There's something called a lasagna method that I saw online that I've never tried before, and I think it's worth trying, even if it doesn't work. But I'm gonna make a video on that. So I'm excited to actually like learn something, because I haven't done it before. And I have to remind myself that that's kind of the fun of this channel, is learning things. It's literally in the name. Kara learns. The other thing is, I think, continuing to make content even when it is failures. I think it's motivating enough for me to continue to try, continue to do better. If I stop making content, I'm afraid that like I will have just given up on the garden entirely. And so I think in some ways, like, doing this kind of keeps me honest and keeps me going. As for my unemployment, some things are just not in my control. But I also have to try something new there. So I did something really scary the other day, and I made a LinkedIn post that made me cringe, and I hated every second of it. But cold applying has not been working, so I am going to start tapping into my network, even though as an introvert is like my nightmare. But I can't just sit there and be disappointed and doing the same thing. I have to manage my disappointment, try something new, tap into my network, and see if that gets me somewhere else. Even if it's more interviews, please, please just meet me. Take me as a personality hire. I'm funny, I'm cute, I'm smart, and I have a really good resume, okay? Anyways, I hope you stuck around to the end of this video. If this isn't helpful for you, I think if anything, this video has been helpful for me. I'm just doing it very publicly in a video on the internet. So that's a crazy thing to be vulnerable about, in my opinion. I don't know why making a LinkedIn post feels cringe and weird, but then me pouring my heart out about being disappointed in many aspects of my life is not. I couldn't tell you. So if you stayed to the end of this video, I appreciate it. I hope it was entertaining, helpful, anything, I'll take it. But if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, say something in the comments, even if it's, you know, you're doing good. Like, I could appreciate, you know, some encouragement. But thanks, y'all. I appreciate it.